Hey guys. Okay. So, week 3 of social studies. Last week we talked about prehistoric Alabama. This week we are going to talk about pre-Columbian natives. All right, so first thing we're going to talk about is the Woodland Indians. There are some pictures of what the Woodland Indians looked like from what we have gathered. They were formerly the Archaic Indians, which means that before they were known as the Woodland Indians, they were known as the Archaic Indians. The Woodland period lasted from 1000 BC to 1000 AD. The woodland tribes grew crops and they stayed in one place for long periods of time. So that means that they were not nomadic. Nomadic means that they moved from place to place. So these Indian tribes actually stayed put for a pretty long time, which allowed them to grow crops and kind of live off of what they grew. They were still hunters, but they didn't move the whole tribe to the game. They sent the hunters out to the game. So instead of following herds of animals like a lot of Indian tribes did, they just sent the people who hunted out to the animals and then brought it back to their tribes instead of everyone moving around. That's what allowed them to be able to grow crops and have crops and game as well. That's pretty neat. All right, then there were the Mississippian mound builders. Those are some examples of some Indian mounds. We also have some Indian mounds right in our backyard at the Mounds Archaeological Park. Those are true Indian mounds. They moved into the Woodland Indians territory in 1000 AD. The Mississippian mound builders learned to work the land well enough to stay in one place. So like the Woodland Indians, they learned how to grow crops and hunt so that they were able to stay put as well and not move their tribe all over the place. These Indians also had another trick that helped them survive, and they traded with other villages for the things that they needed. So if they didn't have something, they found ways to trade what they had with others to get what they needed. So maybe they had something that another tribe didn't, and that tribe had something that they needed, and they would trade, and both would benefit from the relationship. Mississippian artifacts have been found hundreds of miles from the villages that they started out of. So that means that they moved from place to place afterwards, like they kind of spread out. And those people that were trading, that's how far out they were trading, was with tribes that were so far away, hundreds of miles, so that they could stay in one place. So that is pretty resourceful. Okay. They lived in huts built out of straw covered with mud. So you can see those in the pictures here. And that mud is what helped them stick together. Okay. They also had big gardens where they grew lots of corn, beans, squash, and other vegetables. Again, this is what helped them be able to stay in one place so that they didn't have to uproot their families and move all over the place just so that they could survive. Learning how to farm and hunt and trade with others is what allowed them to become such a successful tribe and stay in one place, learning how to build homes and shelters, hunt, grow food, trade, all very successful things that they did so that they could survive and stay put. All righty. We are actually going to stop there for today, and we will continue talking about the rest of the pre-Columbian natives throughout the week. This is probably going to be a 3-part series because there's so much information to talk about, but I don't want to overload you on one day. So go ahead, go do some more research if you want to while you're waiting for the next lesson. But if you need to come back to this lesson for your work today, please make sure that you do that, and I will see you next time.